So Family Guy, that was a terrible show. Like, don't get me wrong, at one point it was good, but some stuff ruined it. And I could go into an entire episode, but for this first episode, there's one thing that is so big that it just being a small segment in an episode really wouldn't do it any favors. And I'm talking about Life of Brian, one of the episodes that single-handedly ruined Family Guy. Good job, Life of Brian. You made me not want to watch this show anymore. But anyway, instead of talking about why it was so bad, we're just going to be trying to fix it. And also be discussing its problems. So, I guess we're still talking about why it's really, really bad. But anyway, time for us to talk about it. Okay, first off, the main problem with Family Guy is they spend 7 minutes of a random side plot of Stewie giving the Indians guns so that Stewie would want to destroy his time machine. Now, I understand that you're going to need him to destroy the time machine so that the death could be permanent, even though there's been multiple other family. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, how come Stewie doesn't revive other... Oh, he's an evil baby. Moving on. But anyway, instead of doing all that, if you want to destroy his time machine, a simpler and easier way to do this in much more time efficiently would just get a giant asteroid to come out of nowhere and just destroy his time machine. And so you'd be like, oh no, I can't make another time machine, no. Would it make sense? Okay, probably not as much, but you know what? It would make it so that it would destroy the time machine, but then have much more time to focus on Brian and his death. And secondly, don't announce his death. And then thirdly, the way he dies. He gets hit by a random car, and as they slow it down so that we could see every little piece of blood, so that we could feel every little bit of bad for him. Except there's a problem with this. That is not a proper way to send off Brian. Out of all the ways you could send off Brian, you decide, yeah, let's just get him hit by a car. That is just really disrespectful to his character. Like, what you could have done is, instead of some random car coming out of nowhere, what you could have done is this. You could have made Lois's dad, I think his name is Carter. Yeah, Carter, have this evil contraption, this evil secret, and then Brian and Stewie go on a giant adventure to be like, yo, this is bad, you gotta stop. But then after a long fight, they eventually get into the public's eye, and then they're like, ha, what you gonna do now? You can't do nothing to us. We're in the public's eye. But then he would bust out something that would surprise everyone. He had AIDS in one of those needle things, and then he would give AIDS to Brian, and then Brian would be like, no, why'd you do that? And then Carter would be like, ha, so I could put you down with no one else judging me. No one will be able to get mad at me for putting down a dog that has AIDS. Not to mention it makes sense. After all, you do it with a lot of women, so of course you have AIDS. So who's not to say that you have AIDS? And then Sue would be like, no, don't kill my friend. And then Carter would just shoot Brian right there. And then Stewie would be like, no. Tell everyone in the family that he's dead. They get a new dog. And that would be it for episode 1. Why is there going to be 2 episodes? Because if you're going to kill off a major character like Brian, you got to make sure you have 2 episodes. So this next episode will just sort of go through each family member, discussing of how they feel and how they're coping with Brian's death. This could be like the one episode in Family Guy where instead of taking jokes, everyone would just sort of be sad and would take a break from having jokes. Although, there would be jokes in the episode, it would be mostly taken away from the situation, because then it would ruin the moment. But anyway, in the end, Stewie would be like, you know what? I gotta get some revenge. So they would find out, get the dirt on Carter with the new dog. They would leave, put it on the internet, And so Carter would get his comeuppance for killing Brian. He would go to jail. And so instead of Carter as the main villain being rich and powerful, he would just be a gun-crazy villain, which, would be a new aspect to the show to keep it fresh. Stewie would learn to move on with the new dog, and Brian would get killed off in a good way instead of coming back to life 2 episodes later and ruining everything, just ruining his character. Yeah. Anyway, if you think this was a good idea, please leave a like and subscribe, because I need subscribes. Please. Please.